You're listening to the Spandex Power Armor Podcast. If it's got a motorcycle in it, it's Tokusatsu. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. If you're listening to this, chances are Nevada are still counting the votes. See, that won't date the episode like last time.
Oh, man, we shouldn't have to care about this. America, just stop.
Get it together, guys. Seriously.
Oh, well, this ain't a politics podcast. This is higher. We answer to a higher power than this. We answer to the ghost of Eiji Tsuburaya. And sometimes it's Samu Tezuka if I'm allowed to talk about anime. Could we technically kind of ask the Pope to make Tsuburaya a saint? He was Catholic. And, I mean, you could technically describe creating a whole genre a miracle.
Yeah, he did miracles with cinematography.
Yeah.
But I think that's more of a star on the Walk of Fame rather than being sainted.
We could try. Look, if MatPat can give the Pope a Steam code for bloody Undertale, okay, we can ask him to make Eiji Tsuburaya a saint.
Was the Shinomori Catholic too, or...?
No, he was just a stoner, allegedly.
Ah, right. How about we make a Shinomori our god? We can worship his afro. I'm assuming it's still growing on his skeleton.
No, it's been taken and is now enshrined like the Shroud of Turin, you know?
It belongs in a museum!
We must pay pilgrimage.
That's it, I'm making an Indiana Jones style film about stealing a Shinomori's afro.
Oh, man. Did you ever watch that biopic they did of Ishinomori?
I didn't know. What was it called again?
You know what? I have no idea. I have it downloaded. I'll find out for you. It's not bad actually. It's I don't know. It's kind of nice. It kind of shows how he got into writing and drawing manga. You know, he started out subbing in for Tezuka when they couldn't find him. He joined he kind of started living in this like apartment complex that was that had a bunch of other artists and authors living in it. His sister died. Got real depressed, went travelling, discovered the word cyborg, and decided, oh, I might make a career out of this word. And then just kind of went off on it.
That sounds interesting, though probably not as engaging as, say, a Walt Disney biopic, which includes more rants about communism.
Oh yeah, didn't he have like some massive strike or something that he had to break up or something? I'm half remembering something I watched on No, it wasn't Defunct Land I watched that on. It was something else.
It was either Defunct Land or Yesterworld.
You hear that, Defunct Land and Yesterworld? We're giving you a shout out. You can have our massive audience come and give you some subs.
You can have our one listener who isn't a bot. Thank
you, Mum.
Yeah, I know this is incredibly off topic. We haven't even discussed anything yet. This is still technically the intro. There was a strike, and this was after the Great Depression. So Disney was obviously a bit miffed because he made sure to give his workers a living wage. He paid them well, and so when they then tried to get better conditions and they striked, he took that as a personal insult.
I don't run an animation sweatshop. I have no idea what would constitute anything like that. I guess good old Walt or not. Whose side am I meant to take here?
I think it hasn't changed really. What you basically do is you get a bunch of people from CalArts, cram them into a small room, then take all the credit.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That is the nature of those kind of industries, I find. I mean, you got plenty of accusations about Stan Lee before he became a national treasure doing that kind of thing. So as our ramblings may imply, there's no real set plan this episode. We're just talking. You get to hear two pals palling around and chatting. And you get to pretend that you too have friends.
Yeah, don't worry guys, it's fine, because to make things a little easier on the ears, I'm going to start talking like this. This is the stereotypical radio/podcasty voice that I do after a few drinks. It's actually the voice that got me into voiceover work. Okay, story time! Haha, you thought we were going to actually talk about Toku. No. I first got into voiceover when I was playing Overwatch, and okay, I was a few beers in, and I was talking a lot on voice chat. Doing generally helpful things, but every time I got into a match it was, dude, your voice. And, I liked the attention. I wasn't a popular boy, so I was like, hey, This is good. Then I got a little drunker and drunker, and I met a guy who worked for a Hungarian marketing agency.
Now, if I had $1 for any time I heard that kind of statement, I'd have one, but it's just weird that I've heard it.
Yeah, and I started off with a couple of gigs from that, and that was interesting. That was a really odd section of my life. And yeah, I have no tokusatsu-related anecdotes, so here's the rest of my life story.
Yeah. Cool. Podcast over, everyone. That's our general discussion. That's all we talk about as friends. Goodbye.
Wait, stop the music. We've done this joke before.
True. But it's a funny joke, and no one ever gets tired of it. It's like, the "oh, hi, I didn't see you there" thing. No one gets tired of that joke. It's a classic, right?
Right, okay, so, topic, now. Men in rubber suits getting fireworks thrown at each other.
Look, you shouldn't expose me like this, alright? I don't like you talking about things that I do in my spare time, publicly.
That's it, I'm kink-shaming.
I've been watching Ultraman lately. Let's talk about Ultraman. He's big.
What kind of Ultraman?
An Ultra man. One would even say an above normal man, an Ubermensch, if you will.
Man, we turned into Nazi propaganda so quickly.
No,
Did Super Eye make propaganda to begin with?
Yes, he did, and he got blacklisted from the industry for a while because of it. They also, I can't remember which agency in the US investigated him, but he was investigated by the US because they were convinced that his film about Pearl Harbor constituted a war crime.
Wow, it was that realistic. Imagine,
Yes.
Are there Japanese people who say that the moon landings aren't real and that Super Eye did them?
Well, no, because they didn't land on the moon.
Better than Kubrick. I know, that's why the Americans got him, like sort of an Operation Paperclip style thing.
Oh, yeah, no, I wish. I wish that was the case. I've been getting I had some Mill Creek Blu-ray stuff come lately. I had Ginga and Ginga S. I also had Rube, and they're posting Z on YouTube.
You're mispronouncing it. It's pronounced lube. Seriously.
You sicken me. You absolutely disgusting. I mean, not only do you make fun of a foreign nation's accents, but you also turn it into a joke about mechanical lubrication. How dare you?
To be honest, I'd buy that as like a licensed product, like some WD-40 or something. Ultraman
probably,
lube.
They probably do. I mean, look,
half the can's red, the other.
I was watching a video. I can't remember what the name of the channel was, but you can find it if you search something like "Can you live off of Evangelion merch?" The answer is yes. No, the answer is not only yes. The answer is that you can do that and more. You can propose to your
pardon?
You can propose to your fiancée with Evangelion merch.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Here I am sitting here with my Sonic the Hedgehog blue curry. Oh. Jealous of all the Eva merch.
Yeah, Ultraman. Ginga and Ginga S was fun. Ginga is low budget as hell. It is the lowest budget Ultra series I've seen. I think it was made for the budget of what was basically like a clip show. And then they decided at the last minute, hang about, this is incredibly lame for an anniversary thing. Let's just make an actual Ultra thing. So there's one location, there's one miniature set. All but like one monster is reused. Everything is as tight as they can make it. Like the main characters they're all in and around an abandoned school, or like a recently abandoned school. So like they've moved the local shrine in there because it was hit by a meteorite. The main character is crashing there because he's got nowhere else to stay, and so his friends just kind of visit and spend all their time in and around the school. And then for like 3 episodes at the end, they're literally trapped in that immediate area and cannot leave no matter how much they want to.
I see they're taking from the Doctor Who school of budget. Could they not even afford a quarry?
No. It works decently though. Like it's not that distracting. I mean, it's noticeable. It's very noticeable, but it doesn't make it. It's thematically sound. Basically, the one of the big themes of it is like childhood dreams and stuff like that. So having it take place in what is now a rundown school works. It works, but Ginga S, the sequel. These are like 12 episodes long each, so both of them make up like a decent series together. So it's not so much the sequel series as it is the second half of it. Is a lot more conventional. Like you got a science patrol team, more special effects, a bigger cast, more locations, and it works. It's like takes place a few years later, where the main character has kind of joined the Science Patrol and stuff like that. It's neat. I like it.
So did they run out of ideas and just think, you know what, sod it, let's stick Ginga back in something?
No, it came out like literally like a few months after the first half did.
Oh, wow, okay, so they actually secured the funding for it.
Yeah, no, Ginga made a buttload of money.
Wow, nice.
And considering how low budget it was probably almost all profit. Also, Taro is in it as a main character, but as a soft vinyl plastic toy.
Oh god, I vaguely remember the concept of spark dolls.
Yeah.
For that, this was before they did all the fancy light up gimmicks, wasn't it? I mean, extreme toyetic. I know they had the
my man,
something capsule.
My man, they're literally toys they're using. That's peak toyetic.
I know.
I mean, they're not shift cars, sure, but still.
I think it was more. It's a very cynical way of doing it because it's like, what do you need to do all this? Literal toys.
Now, to be fair, I don't think it was that cynical. It's not like they made these toys specifically for that use. They repurposed existing toys to save on money.
That's great if you got an excess of inventory.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's fine. You kind of have to. I found with a lot of Toku, you kind of have to rework it in your mind. Like, they're not soft vinyl toys. That's just how they look in the show. In the reality of the show, they're probably something more impressive. I don't know.
It's like the fan theory that Star Trek, the original series, looks so bad because it's a telling of the actual story, but done on a budget. Like, done by some sort of low-budget
I see.
Starfleet thingamabobber.
What? That doesn't make any sense, though. Why would they have a budget?
Or some third party.
They don't have money.
I don't know. Fine. Okay.
It's like cashless society.
Okay. Clear the table.
They have
flip it over.
replicators.
I'm thinking then maybe it's some poor-ass colony in the demilitarized zone that's been abandoned by the Federation.
Then why would they make a production? Why would they make a production glorifying the Federation? Your theories make no sense to me, man.
Yeah. A wizard did it.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. All is forgiven. Ginga is fun, and you should watch it. And that's both you, Rex, and the audience. It's fun. It's nice. The legacy power kind of thing makes a little bit more sense in this. A little bit more. I don't like legacy powers anymore. I really don't.
Before it got all stale and horrible.
In Ginga S, he gets a new form, which kind of combines the powers of the other Ultra Brothers, but it doesn't make him look like them. Like he gets, Taro's kind of chest and shoulder piece. He kind of gets bits reminiscent of that, but that's as far as it goes, which is totally fine. Because it's directly from Taro, and it's Taro's power that's doing it, and he's physically there and talks to him through it. Like, that makes more sense than just, oh, I've got this card. It's got a picture of Zoffy on it. Guess I've got Zoffy's powers now.
What's the newest gimmick? Is it still Pogs?
Yeah, it's Pogs.
Man,
I can't peek. I can't do anything funnier than just calling them Pogs. It's just exhausting having them be the same thing more often than not. I mean, Rube at least tried something, because yeah, sure, they're using the powers of like Taro and Ginga and stuff like that, but they're elemental powers based on what the writers kind of feasibly link tacitly to them. Like, yeah, Taro has fire powers, yeah, sure. Ginga, he's got a lot of blue on him. Give him the water one. Tiga had a fast form, sure. Make him the wind one.
They're doing the best with what they can, considering the obligations from the toy companies.
Yeah. So their little crystal things have the pictures of the Ultras on, but they don't actually impact how they look or anything like that. So that was a nice breather. But then, bam, Zed's got 3 Ultras now. 4 if you include Zed, the base Ultras. You got Zed, then you got 3 others that make up his form.
How many consecutive anniversary series did we have so far?
Well, it's not even anniversary anymore. They're just using the gimmicks of an anniversary series. When did it start? So, do you count X for doing forms based on old monsters?
I'd say
No, I'm leaning towards
no.
no. So Orb, that makes sense. It was celebrating Tiga and Ultraman, sure. But then after that, what came after that? It was Jeed that did them after that as well. Should I count Tiger? Because they're not based. Because Tiger is Taro's son, and then the buff boy, and I don't know his name because I've not. Oh yeah, Ultraman Titas
Ah,
from the
yes.
from the fabled Lost Spandex Power Armor episode. Trust us, it was a really funny joke, and it made me laugh heartily. But you'll never hear it.
Yes, but then my computer decided to crap out and kill it.
It was too good for this world.
You will be missed.
Rest in peace. But yeah, no, he's from the same place as Jonius. That doesn't really count. It's still like a legacy. Either way, they've been doing like legacy or legacy adjacent stuff for a good long while now. And yeah, whereas you got things like Sentai and Kamen Rider. I mean, hell, even for the next big anniversary thing after that, which was it was Juoja, wasn't it? They only had like a Go Kaija two-parter for that. There was no
There was no
legacy.
fanfare. I mean,
No.
I like the way Kamen Rider did it. You had one. Well, the problem is you had one every decade after decade, which also coincided with the end of the Heisei era. So
Yeah,
it was well timed.
it was a perfect storm.
Yeah, it had cultural significance.
Yeah, and it was fine bringing Decade back. I mean, I didn't finish Geo, but you know it was neat bringing Decade back. And the gimmick was different this time. It was armor that they wore based on different riders rather than turning into a rider. Whereas with Ultraman, each time it comes around, it's I'm taking multiple ultras and just smushing them together in me in pretty much the same way. Cool. It was neat when Orb did it.
Yeah,
It was neat when Orb did it because halfway through, Orb gets his original form back, and that's his power up. And that's great. I love that. But then when Jeet does it, Jeet just never gets his base form. Jeet has a base form, but he never uses it, which is really sad to me because he's like this weird like the ultra equivalent of a subhuman homunculus thing, who has to leech powers off other things to stand on their level. That's kind of sad. Come on, he's met Ultraman King. He uses Ultraman King's powers. Why doesn't King just let him use his base form, like be a proper Ultra?
it's very political in the Land of Light. Very
Uh,
catty as well.
True. That's why Seven had to send his bastard love child of Zero away for God knows how long. 'Cause he's half blue.
I'll be in my cold, cold grave before we get a full on blue series. No blue ultras in my TV.
We don't take kindly to your folks around here. This is a red
We're
Ultra
just
only neighborhood.
we're creating racism where there was no racism. And we're like, hang on, we need to get racist. This is too diverse. Let's round up all the blues. I want those schools segregated, damn it.
Kara is only part of the space garrison because of affirmative action. I can't wait for Mabius to come out on Blu-ray. That'll be neat. I like Mabius. That was the first one I watched. It's because you sent me the opening theme for it.
Oh, oh god, it's Eurobeat, isn't it?
Not
Is that
really.
the one?
No, that was Tiga, dude. Take Me Higher. Wanna
Yeah.
Tiga, take me higher. Yeah, Dave Rogers of all people. Of course, it wasn't Dave Rogers' version that made it, and they reworked it a bit to add the word
The
Tiga in it.
Fools. What was the one for Mebius? That's completely escaped me.
I'm not going to sing it for you.
I'm gonna Google this.
It's neat. Again, I think most of my thoughts about things are like, oh yeah, it's neat. I'm a very simple man to please.
I just think they're neat.
Yeah, yeah. I've never related to Marge Simpson so hard now.
I'm just having a watch of this intro, and yeah, that's a banger.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You've sold me. This is a banger, and it is highly representative of its era. Man, this is a video from 2007.
Oof.
This is a time capsule.
Yeah, I like Mabius because it was the first one after 80, I think, to take place in the same continuity because all the stuff beyond that had been like, their own little universes. And so they're constantly making references to old Ultraman shows. And because it's Mabius, it feels a bit special because I hadn't done that yet.
Big up on them for caring about continuity, as compared to, say, Sentai and Kamen Rider, where it's just like, sod it. They're all together and they're all alone.
Yeah, it's because like at the start of the first episode, you got Father of Ultra and Mother of Ultra are like, "Yo, Mabius, can you check on Earth, please? We've not been there for a while, and I think I left the oven on." Yeah, no, Mabius is neat. I just think all of Ultraman is neat. I haven't heard good things about Tiger though, which bothers me because I like Taro. Oh, I'm gonna watch it anyway. Ultra series don't tend to be particularly long these days, so.
I said this last time, I'm going to say it again. I am far too ignorant when it comes to Ultraman stuff. You keep on producing names of series, and I'm just thinking, did he mention that one before? Is he just making it up now?
I'm gonna every so often I'm gonna make up an Ultraman show, and I'm gonna see if you ever pick up on it.
Yeah, challenge accepted.
Ah, cool. Have you seen the that statue they did for the new Shin Ultraman movie?
Damn it, you asked that at the wrong time. Now I'm thinking it's mind games. But yes, I did see the statue.
No color timer is an interesting choice. Hideaki Anno is a massive Ultraman fan, so that's absolutely got to be intentional. I'll be interested to see what they're doing regarding that.
I'm thinking because it's Anno, because of Shin Godzilla and Eva and all that stuff, I'm thinking his skin's going to come off.
Oh, come on. Oh,
it's going to be morbid.
No, it is not. I think this is going to be quite. There's a chance this might be bad, actually. Because Anno is a massive Ultraman fan. So he might not take any risks whatsoever with it. Do you see where I'm coming from? When you're creating your own original thing, like Evangelion was, you can go absolutely hog wild on it and do whatever the hell you want, provided the producers let you. Anno likes Godzilla, but it's not as big a thing as it is for him with Ultraman, say. So I think with Godzilla, there wasn't quite so much holding him back with making it weird. With Ultraman though, I mean, he made a fan film about Ultraman when he was in uni. He's a massive. Did you see that picture of him on his birthday wearing an Ultraman shirt, doing the Ultraman pose? Man loves Ultraman. There's a chance that despite his talent, he might make a bad project out of this because he loves it and doesn't want to mess it up and is a bit too worried to do that. I hope that's not the case, but that's a legitimate fear I have, especially considering how normal Ultraman looks. You know, like there's no difference at all. Like he might be a bit more slender and skinny, but everything about it, except for the missing color timer, is Ultraman. And
yeah, looks like a bloke in a skin-tight, heavy rubber suit.
Yeah. Even then, the color timer being missing makes kind of sense. Like maybe that's before he gets sent to Earth. Color timers are an external kind of like they're a device that's surgically grafted onto an Ultra that goes off-world. They're not like a natural part of their anatomy.
Why would a statue on Earth be of him before he gets to Earth?
I don't know. It's all pre-production stuff. Actually, all the stuff we're seeing.
Like, okay, you don't see things dedicated to Freddie Mercury dedicated to Farrokh Bulsara. It's what they became after they came to the place and did the big thing.
True. There were a bunch of Anakin Skywalker figures when those movies came out, so, checkmate, atheists.
Yippee!
Yeah, oh, poor Jake Lloyd. This is why you don't bully actors, people. Just don't. No matter how bad the movie is.
Just direct everything toward George Lucas.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He can take it. Forget Jar Jar, right? He's the key to all of this.
Have you seen the video of Lucas and Spielberg near the Tatooine set with the battle droid?
Yeah. Well, these guys kind of suck, They get shot up, and the Jedi's just kind of slice them up. And Spielberg's like, oh yeah, thank you, George, very cool.
I think he also tried, like the arm fell off the battle droid statue, and Spielberg tried to put it on, but was on the wrong way around. He's like trying to put the hand into the shoulder.
I made this, Stephen. I made a robot.
See, I can make movies too.
Oh, George, you big ham of a man.
The man just needs a few producers just to reel him back in when he's getting a bit crazy.
I would disagree. I think George Lucas should be the producer. George Lucas is a great ideas man when he has someone to slap him and say no. Compare, if you would, the original Indiana Jones and the last Indiana Jones. Now, George's original idea for the first Indiana Jones was Indiana Jones and the Sorcerer Men.
Ah.
What we got was significantly different than that. So when you have someone saying, no, Steve, no, George, stop that, and making him refine his ideas and pare them down a bit more, then you get some gold. If you compare behind the scenes stuff on Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, they just said yes to George's ideas, and that's what we got was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
And you just get a bit too big for your own good.
Oh, George. That being said, though, I like the prequel trilogy. They're good fun, especially Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the overarching plot of it is really good, and they've got perfect action scenes, the scoring, and also just the world it's in, because it opens something that's different for Star Wars. You can have something that doesn't match the boxy 70s feel of everything, just put it in the Old Republic.
Yeah.
That's one of my issues with the new ones, because they still kind of stay similar to the OG trilogy aesthetic, but with a bit more.
Like, it makes sense when they're in that Millennium Falcon and stuff like that, sure. But, I don't know, should the First Order still be using those kind of screens, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, well. This is a subject
Save
that's
us,
been done to
expanded
death.
universe.
Yeah, look, I've given up on mainline Star Wars now. I've just gone into the X-Wing novels because they're fun and I like them. Pew, 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 pew.
It's technically Tokusatsu.
Oh, yeah, they use special effects.
That's our argument
all I
for
need.
everything.
Yeah, it's got special effects, man. There's an explosion in one scene. It's cool. We're all Gucci.
It's got CGI. Technically, Fox News is Tokusatsu.
Oh,
Ultraman Donald is gonna drain the swamp.
I'm gonna build a wall, and the kaiju are gonna pay for it.
See, I think someone did make... I swear to God, there have been some low-budget films about Donald Trump fighting aliens and stuff.
I have not seen anything regarding this, but I choose to believe you because I want this to be the case. You see, this is what American elections do. They turn normally apolitical stuff into... Stop it! All right, I'm making making this a point of principle that we're not going to mention Trump or Biden or anything beyond this point. Screw you, America! Don't do this to us. There, that's our cut-off point. I've talked about Ultraman. Rex, what do you got? What do you got for me?
I think Bernie can still make it.
Oh, go to hell! you, yeah, fine, cool.
No, seriously though, I'm going a little bit away from Ultraman. I want to talk a little bit about Kamen Rider and the way it's going, because, okay, so we initially got a bit interested in Saber when we started Season 2 up.
Oh yes, I too love Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs.
Oh dear. And, okay, I've just been seeing a few things of it over time. I've not been investing myself into it. I need to properly do a deep dive into some Kamen Rider stuff after a while, because I've just been stuck on playing Phasmophobia. And okay, I know that there are gripes about Saber being just one big toy commercial, like unabashedly, but
That's the genre these days. That's what you're in for. We've been doing this for... When did Kamen Rider become Toyetic? Not Cougar, not really Agito.
There was merchandising.
Oh yeah, there's always been
70s,
merchandising though, dude. What I mean is, when does it become Toyetic? Like compare Cougar to Drive. I love Drive, but goddamn, using Hot Wheels cars to transform, that's Toyetic as hell, dude.
Ryuki?
What was cards? Yeah, I'd accept
Cards
that.
and obvious toy robots.
Yeah. All right, we're calling it a Ryuki. Cool. I'm happy with that. So yeah, it's been Toyetic since, what was that? 2004, 5, 4. And I reckon time by Godzilla release dates, not by Kamen Rider release dates.
Yeah. But my current gripe is not so much with the toys itself, but more the way in which they're used in the series. Like, okay, in Saber, they have books that you can put on the belt and it gives you powers pertaining to them. And that was quite interesting to see how it was being done. And, like, there's a bloody Jack and the Beanstalk one. And there are two things you might expect from Jack and the Beanstalk. Either to be massive or to wield
like
this massive planty. Yeah.
Thing. Yes.
No.
Or plant powers like Poison Ivy, something like that. But it's... Go on. You're building up to it. Tell them.
It shoots beans. It's a power that shoots beans at people.
Me and the boys at 3 a.m. shooting beans.
It's just weird. I mean, I'm looking at the list of them now. So, obviously, yeah, Jack and the Beanstalk, you shoot beans at people, obviously. Peter Pan. There's a Peter Pan themed one, and not Flight.
Oh,
you get a hook. So it's about
but
Captain Hook.
hang about. Captain Hook wasn't the main focus. He's not. Okay, cool. Whatever. Go on. Continue. This is enraging me.
Yeah.
That's dumb as hell. Make him
I mean,
fly.
it would make sense if it were a villain rider who had dark versions of him and had the powers based on the antagonist.
Well, Zero
That
One
would
had
be
a dedicated
interesting.
flying form. You have the budget to do it. You have the special effects to do it. Just do it.
Here's how I'd improve it. You have Saber with, the actual power that's based on flight and stuff. Then you add a bad guy rider who has an evil version of the book, gives him
Yeah.
Captain Hook powers and give him like a grappling hook kind of thing to drag him down. That would make sense.
Yeah, why not make the villain why not make the villain one use like the antagonists of these books? So while Saber can make vines grow and manipulate them and wibbly wobbly arms, you got the villain who turns into a giant and he has to use his wibbly wobbly long arms to take the big giant man down, or he can use his flight to take down Captain Hook. Yeah, the flight didn't really factor
At least the
into his
King
thing.
Arthur
That was
themed
weak.
one makes a bit more sense because he
What,
actually
becoming a
has
sword?
a sword.
Becoming his sword. Saber
He just gets an extra sword.
Saber in no way really appeals to me on any level, and I hate saying that because I love Kamen Rider. I absolutely adore Kamen Rider, but Saber does not look like Kamen Rider to me, and it does not feel like Kamen Rider to me. I get no Kamen Rider vibes from it. I said exactly this kind of thing about X-Aid, and I was proven wrong with X-Aid, and I'm happy for it. So maybe I should give it a chance, but I've not heard anything good about Saber, unfortunately. Maybe that's just people overreacting, but I am not eager to start watching Saber. In fact, to just take this on a bit of a tangent, Kamen Rider hasn't been fun for me for a while, which sucks. Like, I liked a few aspects of 01, but when the core character Aruto just doesn't appeal to me and actively, what's the word I'm looking for? Actually, actively repels me. It makes it hard for me to want to continue watching it. And I know that's dumb because I run a Toki podcast, but it makes me not want to continue when I'm not having fun, and it makes me just want to go back. Like I'm loving Faiz. Faiz is cool. Hibiki is pretty fun so far. Older stuff I like because it's a bit. I know this is going to make me sound kind of insecure and a bit. But it's darker, it's a bit edgier, and I like it because of it. I know that makes it sound like it's cool, mum. It's not Super Sentai. These guys have blood in them, and they die, and they're sad.
I'm getting you some SICs for Christmas.
Oh boy,
so edgy. I kind of agree with what you mean, though. For me, it's more the character dynamic and the design of the protagonist. So early Neo Heisei stuff was my jam. You've got Double, you've got O's, you've got Forze. Fantastic character interactions. It keeps you going, even in the scenes where there are no fights. There's no actual superhero stuff. It's just the characters talking. You feel engaged. You want to know more about them.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, early Neo Heisei was, and this is a new word I've just come up with, and I'm coining it, and if I hear anyone else using it, you got to pay me royalties, but costumetic as hell. So I'm going to go ahead and define costumetic, because it's in my head and nowhere else right now. You ever seen The Sixth Doctor?
Yes.
You ever seen The Seventh Doctor?
That was Sylvester McCoy, wasn't it?
Yeah. Costumetic as hell. Like, question marks all over his tank top, stuff like that. And then when you look, stuff that a normal person wouldn't wear. And then when you look at, like, it's just when someone dresses in a way where you can tell it was put together by a costume designer as a costume, not as something that someone would realistically wear, you know?
Yes, definitely. I mean, look at Shotaro, look at Eiji, look at...
Yes. Well, definitely,
yeah.
Look at Philip.
Every early Neo Heisei one.
But despite that, the strength of the characters really shines through, and that becomes why I like it. I love O's, not because of like the rider design or anything like that, but because of the cast of characters, how well written they are, and how they interact with one another. I love all of these characters, and I like seeing them together, and I like seeing them talk to each other. And I honestly prefer the non-fight scenes to the fight scenes, because the fight scenes are fine. but there's no talking between characters in it. And I shouldn't be saying that about an action series where the whole focus is power-ups and fighting, but I am. And I think that kind of speaks to the strength of some of the older stuff. I say older stuff, that was like 2010. Oh god, that was a decade ago. Cool.
Well, that's moderately depressing.
Yeah. Mortality approaches. Yeah, I see what you mean. I just... Saber, I'll give it a go. Because I gave X8 a go. And by God, I love X8. It's really good. But I'm not feeling optimistic about Saber, really. And I shouldn't feel like that, but whatever. There's plenty of other Toki to watch.
I do like how one of the riders, in standard form, is sort of Aladdin-themed. So you've got one of the shoulders looking like an oil lamp. No actual powers, I think, relating to it, but it just looks cool.
It does.
Yeah. It's like white and gold kind of thing as well. I'm seeing some sort of hedgehog-related Wonder Ride book. I mean, is that based on some folktale, or...?
Well, it's a hedgehog's dilemma, but that's not really a fable or anything like that. That's just to illustrate how hard social interaction is.
They're kind of pulling it out of their arse with this one. At least with... I know with Double, they could pick from practically anything. Here's concepts in USB sticks.
Well, yeah, they're just pulling things from our collective unconscious. Like, you can do whatever the hell you want with that. Fang. Okay, cool. Joker. Oh, okay. Why was that Joker was a stat boost,
Build
wasn't it?
did okay. Build was a similar thing. You got your half and half superhero. And yeah, I mean, it's like, let's combine this power with this power. It was a bit more refined than Double, I guess.
Saber doesn't look like a Kamen Rider to me. And that... I know that sounds really superficial, but it matters to me at the very least. I have a very... What's the word I'm looking for? My concept of what a Kamen Rider is an amalgamation of what kind of Kamen Rider ended up becoming later on. Well, that's not what I want to say. What am I trying to say? It doesn't look like Kamen Rider. It doesn't feel like Kamen Rider. To me, Kamen Rider is someone who kind of exists on the fringes or the outside of society and fights for that society despite not being able to be a part of it. And that was quite a lot of what the older Kamen Riders were at times, not totally, but that was clearly the intent. That, you know, if you look at Skullman and stuff like that, that kind of preceded Kamen Rider, and then subsequent Kamen Rider stuff, like look at Shin, which was Ishinomori's favorite.
Counterpoint. What about X-Aid? Is he the outcast because he's a capital G gamer?
Look, okay, we all know that gamers are the most oppressed minority group in society right now. Because after all, we do live in a society. X-Aid was too much of an epic gamer, and so he had to be oppressed.
I want a female version of X-Aid who is like a villain, and the mooks are all simps.
What, they're her Twitch moderators?
Yeah. And, you know, it can be a little bit camp. So when they start to be scared, she just shows a little thigh, and they just rally.
Yeah.
And they pay her for the privilege. I want an e-girl comment.
Oh.
You have to dodge
God.
her bathwater.
Oh, that waveform looks horrible. Good luck editing that.
Oh, this is going to be fun to edit.
Oh, it's your fault for making such a funny joke. Oh, man, that is horrible. And if it was like a Western program, that would probably be feasible.
I'm looking at images of X-Aid now, and like just because I'm looking at stuff while we talk about it, and seeing the costumes and stuff, and in every X-Aid costume there's a noticeable crotch bulge, and it's like cleft with the seam in the middle, so it looks like balls. It's like a cat's balls. It's noticeable.
Now, personally, I don't notice cat's balls, but you know, maybe I'm the weird one for not looking at them. You know, who am I to
I brought
judge?
the podcast to a screeching halt to announce the presence of balls.
You know, I'm sure I mentioned this to you like a week or so ago, but if X-Aid was made today, we'd have VTuber characters. Poppy would be a VTuber. And she'd be horrible CGI as well.
No way. I think they'd green screen her on.
No, she'd be horrible CGI. They'd Miku dance her in.
I mean, I'm not sure if I'd be for or... I'd like a follow-up that's something like that, and it being seen as like a new thing. That would be cool.
We've
That
got
would
like
be
a million
interesting.
and one X-Aid endings, so I mean, like we probably will at some point. They'll do like an X-Aid 5 years after, and Poppy's had a kid, and she's a VTuber avatar thing or whatever.
You think they'd remove the bulge from the promo images?
Are you still looking at
kids see
X-Aid's
this.
bulge?
I mean, surely for promo images you remove stuff like, with them photoshopping nipples off of male models.
They do that?
Yeah, apparently men with nipples is, like, taboo, despite it just... yeah, I don't know why they want to get rid of that vestigial feature, but yeah.
Alright, let's have a look. So you got me looking for bulges now.
I am the bringer of tangents. This is now a Rider Bulge podcast. Actually, to be honest, I've noticed that, like, around Forza and stuff, a lot of characters had some ass going on. Especially Meteor. I'm just like, what?
They got a whole
Did
bit
they
on
cover
that
it with,
in
like, a
Tokusatsu
plate or something?
Gaga.
Really?
Yeah, no. One of the characters really likes the Blue Ranger for that year's version of Super Sentai, and she's got a bunch of pictures of him saved to her phone, and most of them are of his butt. Watch Tokusatsu Gaga. It's so nice. It's really nice, especially as like an adult fan of these things. Now, sure, we don't have the same societal pressures that they do in Japan, or that they do in Japan for women, but it's still. I don't know. I don't try and hide what I'm into, but at the same time,
It's good to get that perspective.
yes. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm aware that, I like Japanese Power Rangers is a weird look. I'm lucky to work with people who, most of them are into kind of weird nerdy stuff as well, and the rest don't really, aren't that the kind of person to kind of have a go or judge you for it. But it's quite interesting seeing that kind of culture in Tokusatsu Gaga. But it's also got some really good life lessons
I
in
think
it.
in the West, with usual mature workplaces, with people it's more just like, oh, cool, you've got a hobby.
Yeah.
We all have playground PTSD, so to be accepted by sensible adult human beings, we just like really cherish that.
Oh man, yeah, no. Watch Tokusatsu Gaga. It's good, and I made that joke last time. Oh,
We're just
I'm a sham.
rehashing so
I'm
many
a
jokes,
hack.
aren't we?
You could probably just make a it's like a soundboard of my favourite stock jokes, and that'll be me for the rest of the podcast.
Mate, I could continue this podcast without you.
No, you
I
couldn't.
could say a few things,
I'm
and
the
I'd just press a
lifeblood.
bunch of keys.
Watch Ultra Man. Let's do a Grid Man episode. It's like he never left.
I'd occasionally just chirp in with something recent so people think it's up to date, but yeah, pretty much.
In the future, all Spandex Power Armor episodes will be randomly generated by an algorithm.
Did you make a bloody VeggieTales reference?
I made a VeggieTales reference.
The hell is wrong with you?
Loads of things are wrong
Why
with
do
me.
I even know that's a VeggieTales reference? What is the internet? Speaking of,
Speaking of Christ,
bizarre-
Bible Man.
I was about to make that segue, thank you.
You're
That is
welcome.
one plan. We will have to watch a bunch of Bible Man. It's kind of hard to do
on
in the
YouTube.
UK. I mean, we've got some episodes, but there's like OG Bible Man, then there's
Oh
newer
no,
Bible Man.
they
and-
did a cartoon, didn't they? I don't
Oh yeah,
care
it turned
for
into
it.
a CG series. I'm not too keen on that. I mean, yeah, all right.
Half-
I mean,
Half of the appeal of Bible Man is the fact that it's live action. Okay, I know that sounds dumb.
Yes.
That sounds incredibly dumb to say. Let me explain. That suit looks lame, and when it's rendered in a 2D, or well, I suppose 3D, when it's rendered on a I can't say drawn. What's the word I'm looking for? My brain's turning to mush. When it's rendered on something that isn't real, it just looks bad. When it is on someone who is real,
I know
then
what you're
sure, it
talking
looks
about.
bad.
Yeah,
it looks
but
bad,
it
but
looks
in a
like a
charming way.
professionally done animated series. It doesn't have that appeal.
Yeah, live action is charming. Cartoon animated is the word I was looking for. Animated less so. It just looks bad.
Yeah, I like the live action stuff. You can tell they're kind of having fun with it, and some of the humor is actually almost decent, but it's cringe because, wow, it goes heavy on the god.
Now, considering his name's Bible Man, I would be disappointed if it didn't.
Yeah, and I love how it's always, oh, Jimmy at the youth group doesn't want to come to church anymore.
Quick, Bible Man, make him come to church.
And, What the best thing is, it's like it's always an external influence causing the children to do something or question themselves. Not some sort of conflict internally. No, it's always got to be something else. Put your blame on some bloke in tights working for the devil.
It's
Don't
never.
resolve your own issues.
My problem is that it's never actual Satan. It's just some generic thing. I want actual Satan. Oh, hang.
Oh, they always ominously imply it.
Hang
Like
about.
Bellman goes, I know who you work for. That kind
Hang
of thing.
about. Apparently, oh damn it, it's Rent. So I was just looking through Bible Man pictures on Google, as I do, regularly. And there was a thing, Bible Man Classics, available now, Vimeo on demand, but it's Rent. I'm not going to rent that junk.
Ah.
It's on Vimeo, everyone's favourite.
I'm just thinking now about the way that Bible Man portrayed, issues with kids. It's like having doubt or feeling sad. It's an external entity that causes it. Imagine if they went so far enough, they did one about homosexuality. You got one teen who's questioning his sexuality, and rather than actually doing anything, it's more like, oh, it's
Bible
some
Man
evil...
just brings out his electric powers and just kind of shocks the gay away.
Mike Pence him. No. Oh, yeah, it's got rather than it being like an actual thing, it's more like, oh, there's some evil wizard there who's making kids gay. He's putting chemicals in the water.
Are you saying that would not be an amazing episode?
It would
you
be.
saying that
it
you
would
don't
be
want
incredibly offensive. But
It'd be hilarious. You know he would be the most horrible stereotype ever. Anything and everything under the sun that they can put into one character would be put into that one character. It would be horrible. For all our jokes, I just want to clarify that at least I don't think Bible Man or the people behind Bible Man are that mean-spirited or anything like that.
oh no,
They
no,
would
not in the
never,
least bit.
We don't think they would ever do that, and they would never. The people who do
No.
Bible Man are, obviously we think they're a bit misguided, obviously, because I'm agnostic. Rex, you're atheist, right?
For the time being, might start a cult later.
Sick. So yeah, obviously we disagree with them on a lot of things, but like I appreciate the sincere attempt at making what's the best way to word it? Good Christian values in TV. I disagree with a lot of the stuff they say, but I like to think. I like to try and think the best of people, and so this is coming from a place of genuine desire to give kids good role models and good life lessons. Even if some of them are wrong, hey, it came from a good place, probably.
Yeah.
You know what I want? More than anything?
Do tell.
Edgy Bible Man.
No. I want my version because it gets
Bible
bought
Man.
out by the Westboro Baptist Church.
But that's not edgy Bible Man. That's just horrible Bible Man. That's horror Bible Man. That's Old Testament Man. I want New Testament Man.
Let's have them fight.
Wait.
You've got one representative.
Wait. We do have two of them, and they tacitly have to work together, but secretly they don't agree because they're at odds. Old Testament Man. I want this. There's so much you can do with Bible Man. That shouldn't be a thing that I can say, but there is so much you can do with Bible Man. What was that? What was that Nicolas Cage? No, it wasn't a Nicolas Cage film. It was, what's his name? Kurt something. The one where they're on the plane and then like half the people on the plane disappear.
I know. Kurt Cameron.
Kurt Cameron.
That's the guy.
Okay, okay, I went down this rabbit hole, by the way, and I'm going to take you guys down it for a little bit because we're talking about Bible Man, and I can tacitly connect it together. Where it is, Left Behind. There we go.
Left Behind. That was the one.
I'm pretty sure that's the one. Yeah. Okay. So Left Behind. The basic plot. The rapture happens. A bunch of people go, and everyone left behind is oh no. Objective morality exists in this universe, and God is a active presence now, and we're all sinners. Womp womp. And that's basically it for the film. But it's based on a book, and there are a load of books.
I've heard there are a lot of adaptations as well. There's a mini-series, there's even an RTS, where when you play as the Christians, it's just average-looking white dudes in sweater vests.
Gee, that's gotta... Okay, Left Behind is a multimedia
I'm not
franchise
lying.
that started with a series of 16 best-selling religious novels by Tim LaHaye and Jerry B. Jenkins. I love that name. That dealt with Christian dispensationalist end times. I had to think about that word. You'll edit out that long pause, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? To make you look a bit smarter.
Yeah, I'll fill it in with a clip of me screaming, don't worry.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, 16 books. 16 books. Graphic. Blimey. All right, so we got Left Behind the Kids series. I did not go this far down the rabbit hole. I just looked through the plot.
What? A kids series?
Spin-off books, graphic novels, film adaptations, video game. That must be okay. Let's have a look at the kids series. I've Left Behind the Kids.
I sent you a screenshot
40...
of the RTS.
Left Behind the Kids series is a series of 40 novellas written for teenagers. Has the same plot as the adult series, but the main protagonists are teenagers. You lazy hack fraud! He wrote the same books again, but changed out the age of the characters. Wow, those are really white bread people. I just looked at the screenshot. Yeah, 40 novellas of the same.
Still more innovative than Tech War.
Dramatizations of the novellas were produced by Christian Radio by Airflix. The series was conceived as a sequence of 48 novellas, but only 40. They wanted to do more. 2002 series of graphic novels published by Tyndale House, blah, blah, blah. Film adaptations, plural. I know there were two. I think Kirk Cameron was in one. Kirk. Oh, he was one who did that Christmas movie. That really horrible Christmas movie. Left Behind 2.
He did a Christmas movie?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas. Have you not seen it? I keep forgetting his name and getting it confused with something else. Where is Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas?
It's going on the list.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. So, basically, Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas...
Is it Tokusatsu?
Oh, probably. So, there's Kirk Cameron is hosting Christmas dinner for his family. And he's a good, strong Christian man. He's a good God boy. But some of his family have the audacity to not be religious or maybe quite as pious as him, and they may have some doubts as to what value Christmas has to them as non-church members or to society at large, given that society has progressed within the last 2,000 odd years. And so he systematically takes each and every single one of them aside and is like, Saint Nick was actually a pretty cool guy. And then it gives them some kind of pitch. And by the end of it, they're like, wow, yeah, I guess Christmas really is cool. I'm going to pray. And then that's it, in a nutshell. It's Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas.
I'm hoping that's the last word they say. And then they turn to the camera, it zooms in on their face, and they say, to Muhammad. The credits is just Kirk going, no!
I want a series of films where Kirk Cameron unintentionally drives people to other different religions. Kirk Cameron Saves Hanukkah.
To be honest, that would happen if he probably went outside the US. Because, okay, so we know that a lot of faiths, they're pretty chill compared to the US variants, where they are just going full ham. We've seen the mega churches.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Wow, he was in 3 Left Behind movies. Left Behind the movie, Left Behind 2, Tribulation Force. I'm still on Left Behind, by the way. Left Behind, World at War. I know there was a remake. Oh, wow, he had video games.
The Tokusatsu podcast,
we're talking about
very,
Kirk
very
Cameron, baby.
religious.
It's because you mentioned Bible. It's because I mentioned Bible Man. You were going to mention Bible Man. I can still blame you somehow.
We were mentioning Bible Man at the same time. We're both equally responsible. It's a gateway superhero.
Now, I really want a Left Behind situation for Bible Man. Like a world
where he is questioning why he got left behind?
No, where he's left behind specifically to try and save as many people before the apocalypse. Wouldn't that be sick? He's the lone good man in a world full of sinners. That'd be sick as hell.
Dude, that's Doom Eternal.
Yes! You're on board then? You agree with me?
You've got your edgy blood and gore Bible Man video game.
Right, but he's not purple, and he doesn't pray, and he doesn't have a group of kids sidekicks to help him out.
That's because all the demons got them.
But with that, I don't often genuinely advocate for a gritty, edgy remake or adaptation of something. But in this one context, I am absolutely, unironically, genuinely advocating for, what would I call it? Bible Man Rapture, Bible Man Apocalypse, Bible Man the Rebibling.
Love and pray until it is done.
But that would be sick as hell. Have him fight Beelzebub at the end or something. I don't know. Barbatos.
Yeah, I'd dig that.
Yeah, make it. I want it. Don't do that
Would it help
horrible
if I
CGI one.
drew over that old Doom comic with Rip and Tear and stuff?
Ooh,
Just with Bible Man.
I'm down to clown. Didn't this holy sword have the same sound effects as a lightsaber?
Oh, it was defo a lightsaber. That was the appeal. It was so cheap and oh man.
Well, I find I'm totally all right with cheap stuff if you can tell genuine passion went into it, because then the lack of quality of like the physical stuff is kind of transcended by just the appeal of people just genuinely bringing one of their passion projects to life. It's nice.
Oh yeah, you could tell effort was put into Bible Man.
I like Bible Man. I mean, it's not good, but it's fun. It's one of those things you can just have a good laugh with your mates. But it's not even like a mean kind of thing. We're not like laughing at it. We're just kind of laughing.
Yeah,
There's one thing you take away from this episode is that you should watch Bible Man.
it's a very odd thing, especially for Europeans.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Oh, this is
yeah.
nothing like what we're used to over here. This is a very American thing you guys have got going on. And sometimes your American things aren't so great. Sometimes you guys do some pretty alright stuff, I guess.
For the love of God, stop making adaptations of our sitcoms.
Oh,
I mean, The
blimey.
Office was good, but that was lightning in a
That's an
bottle.
outlier.
Yeah.
However, if you want to make some weird tokusatsu versions of things, then by all means, if you want Power Rangers, eyes, I don't know. I was going somewhere
I
with
think
that,
they're
and then I just
doing
didn't.
another film, like a reboot, because
Yeah,
the last one, it felt very experimental.
that's a very polite way of saying it was bad.
Yeah, I'll keep explaining this to my grave, but the last 30 minutes was good.
Right, right, right. Yeah, but 30 minutes out of like what, an hour and a half? That's not much.
I
I
mean,
was,
it was a good Krispy Kreme advert.
it's a magical place. I was watching The Breakfast Club with my dad a little while ago, and throughout watching it, I was like, "This is just, it's just the first like two acts of Power Rangers, but better." I really want to see if I
Okay,
can
what we'll
edit.
do is we'll get the Breakfast Club and then just splice the last fight scene from Power Rangers onto it.
Man, I'm so disappointed in that movie, and I know there are some people who really like it, but those people only like it because the Yellow Ranger is maybe gay and the Blue Ranger is autistic. Those are the main times I've seen people praise it. And yeah, sure, the Blue Ranger being autistic, that's decent representation. They lean a bit too much into the whole, oh, I take things too
Yeah.
literally angle for my taste. I mean, for clarification, I'm on the spectrum. I've got Asperger's. I run this podcast. Obviously, I do. Come on, man. So that's not me getting offended for other people. I'm not even offended. It just, I don't know, it just bugs me a little bit when they go that far with them. Like, come on. Anyway, as far as the Yellow Ranger goes, I mean, I understand that people feel kind of starved of content, but that's really not much that you were given with that regard. That's not really praiseworthy. One line implying that maybe
It's ambiguous. It's an ambiguous character development.
they
Ah.
don't have to edit it down in China. Amazing.
Yeah, that saves
Don't
a bit of
accept
time.
that. Demand more. All right. If you want,
Yeah,
if you want that stuff, demand more. Don't let them get away with that bare minimum crap. All right. This isn't an issue. This is not an issue that I feel particularly strongly on because it's not my fight. I'm not part of that community. If you are though, don't settle for it. All right. Just fight for more. Don't let them.
Oh, yeah.
Don't let them half-ass it with that. So
get you some
that's
better representation.
yeah. That's why I don't particularly accept any or most things like, oh, but it was really good. Oh, that last half hour though. I'm looking at you, Rex. Last half hour is crap.
Hey,
The designs, none of the designs look good. I am getting too het up over a Power Rangers movie. It's not good. They could have made it really good. I maintain to this day that I can edit that movie down into Power Rangers episodes length worth and make it pretty alright.
yeah, you can make that into a TV pilot.
Yeah,
You could edit out all the crap and just be like, yeah, sure. Way too expensive to actually air, but still.
Zordon was so mean in that movie.
Yeah, like he had zero patience for teenagers with attitude problems.
Oh well. Hopefully the next one will be better. I mean, it's not like we've not got Power Rangers, you know. I mean, we've got Power Rangers, and we have for like 20 odd years. So a bad movie isn't going to take that away.
I hope Jason David Frank gets kicked out of the next screening of this one.
Oh man, I don't understand why it was just him and Amy Jo Johnson that got cameos. I can understand David Yost not wanting to be too involved with it on account of the bullying, but I don't know. I mean,
Poor guy.
oh yeah, poor guy as well. Blimey, that must have been horrible. I mean, he was on it for longer than anyone except for Paul Schreier. Schreier, the guy who played Bulk.
Schreier, I think it's Schreier.
Schreier. That's not. I've read that name loads of times, but I've never said it out loud. And I hate it when I have those moments. Yeah, new Power Rangers movie. Hopefully, it'll be good. I like good movies. I don't really like them when they're bad. That's not a controversial thing
We're going
to
to
say.
consume it anyway.
Yeah, probably. But it's okay because we'll talk about it on the podcast. So we're not consumers, all right? We
consume on behalf of the consumers.
yes, we consume, so you don't have to. Did I make a
We're
nostalgic critic
not
reference?
well
last
known
time?
enough to be influencers, so we have to pay for the media, but we're not consumers, guys.
Rex, was that the second episode in a row I made a nostalgic critic joke?
Yeah, you need help.
What have I become? Oh man, Mothra Blu-rays are coming out in the UK. Do you know what I bought
Sweet.
last year? The US release. So now I'm gonna have 2 Mothra Blu-rays.
Same content?
No, different content. That's why dude, no, I'm not that bad. The one that's coming out, if it was the same content, I wouldn't. But the one I've got doesn't really have any special features or anything like that. But the new one that's coming out has got loads of decent special features. So I'm buying it for the special features.
Ooh. Didn't you mention the Gamera movies were getting individual Blu-ray releases now?
Oh, not individual. They're splitting them
Oh.
up. So like the Showa ones are separate, the Heisei ones are separate.
Okay.
More importantly, though, they're cheaper. Now, I don't mind that because I wanted the books and junk that came with it.
Yeah, they were kind of testing the waters with the great big special edition, and it's a shame that was so scarce, but I think a lot of people would like the extra access to these films. It's been a massive problem for years.
I think anyone who really, really, really wanted the all the special features and stuff like that would have pre-ordered the thing anyway. So I mean, obviously there are some people who couldn't and didn't, but I think for the most part, the people who wanted that stuff pre-ordered it early on, like I did, and got it. So I don't think that's too big of an issue. I think the people who just want the movies, I think anyone who bought the thing and just wanted the movies are going to be kicking themselves right now. But it wouldn't be too hard for them to shift their big collections and then sell it for the cheaper ones. I'm just glad they're doing it again because they're out of stock on Arrow. Because I was going through their stuff because they do some good releases. Completely out of stock on their actual website. Amazon still has them, but they're marked up quite a bit, and I dread to think what they're like on eBay.
So this has been a wonderful journey through Ultraman, gripes about Kamen Rider, a hell of a rabbit hole delve into evangelical Christian children's programming, for which we are most certainly not the target audience. Man, Left Behind. That was one hell of a thing. Somehow we got back into Gamera.
Now, when Bible Man, he dresses all in like bright purple and
Yep.
stuff like that. And he's an evangelist.
Oh
Would you say he's a
no!
neon
Okay, that's it. I'm gonna Photoshop all like the orange bits
evangelical.
and, with green and stuff. Get in the robot, Bible Man.
Oh, you made me snort. Blank.
I want to see Bible Man fight angels from that.
Oh man,
I want a Bible Man versus fanfiction series. I might bloody write it.
you may as well. There is, like I said earlier, there's a lot you can do with Bible Man, and there is a lot that is not being done with Bible Man. He deserves better. God damn it.
Ironic, that statement, really.
So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. It's very loose. Next episode will be a lot more structured, and from that point going forth, then yeah, we'll be a lot more. Well, I'll be a lot more focused.
Well, to be honest, I've been goofing off a lot. I've been playing way too many video games. I spent way too much time this week on Superhot. Indie games are a slippery slope, children. Never get into them.
To the next episode, we could actually tell you what next episode is going to be about. Ultraman, Hanna-Barbera. It exists.
You fool!
It's pretty good.
Now we actually have to do it. We have
Oh,
an
no,
obligation.
I gave the whole thing away.
It's on the internet now.
Yeah, no, look forward to that, peeps. Oh yeah, everything on the internet's true.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do that not live action, animated Ultraman movie. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Don't count the votes.
Hang about. I already said we'd had a cut-off point for political stuff, Rex. Why would you
This
make
was
me a
the main
liar?
body. It was for the
Why must
main
you turn
body. This is the
Why must
outro.
you
We can
turn
say
this
anything.
podcast into a house of lies?
It's all political, especially blokes in rubber suits.
Well, yeah. I mean, why do you think they call them Red Rangers? It's not because of the color. I can tell you that much.
This is turning into an absolute mess, and I hope that you have had as much fun as we have as we destroy our own podcast from the inside. This is Rex signing off.
The biggest mistake American politics has made is making everything around it dateable.